Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. When I first saw the trailer for Rise of the Guardians, I was super hyped up. I thought it was so cool that DreamWorks Animation was going to be making an animated film about holiday mascots banding together to fight evil. Unfortunately, I never got a chance to see this movie at the cinema, but I've seen it now. So what do I think of it? Rise of the Guardians is an action fantasy adventure. It follows Jack Frost, an ice-powered young man who enjoys causing frosty chaos around the world. One day, the Guardians, a team of heroic holiday mascots, tell him that he's been chosen to join them by the mysterious Man on the Moon, so that they can take on the evil spirit Pitch Black, who wants to bring fear to children and become recognized by mortals. At first, Jack doesn't want to become a Guardian until he discovers that Pitch has stolen his teeth, which contain memories of his past. He becomes determined to find out his origins and stop Pitch from ruining childhood dreams. Now, I've come across many people who have defended certain films by saying, but it has a really good idea, and that's just not a solid enough reason for a film to hold up. It's like saying a dying flower is really strong and beautiful because it started out as a promising seed. So, while I like the idea behind this film, I don't think that the end result lived up to my expectations. My major issue with this film is that its story is all over the place and very poorly handled. Everything goes by really fast as the narrative either loses focus or gets distracted. Heck, sometimes the Guardians don't even take what they're doing seriously. Yes, it fits the film's message of having fun, but it also takes away a lot of gravity from the situation. Because of the film's breakneck pacing, a lot of interesting ideas, questions and themes get brushed over. For example, there's a scene where Jack criticizes the Guardians for not getting to know kids more, and the film only very briefly tackles this criticism before swiftly moving on to the next scene. Another example, we discover that someone called the Man on the Moon dictates the Guardians, but we never learn who he is, what he is, or why our characters should put trust in him. He's just there. The Man on the Moon is supposed to be the entity that makes everything click. He's in charge. How can we believe in and engage in this world when we know diddly squat about how it all works? Maybe these things were explored in the books, I don't know because I've not read them. But like I've said many times before, a film has to function on its own to serve as a fulfilling and satisfying experience. You shouldn't have to do any kind of homework before watching a film in order to understand it. Despite all this, the film still provides plenty of funny humour and high-octane action to keep us entertained. The Guardians have some hilarious banter between each other, and the fights they have are pretty badass. I did enjoy watching these characters bounce off each other while kicking ass. I also like how each Guardian has a special connection with their responsibility towards children. It helps to flesh them out and define them. I'm going to give 2 points to the content. Jack Frost is definitely the most fleshed out character in the film. He's charismatic, charming, and adorably cheeky. I like that he's taken many centuries to adapt to his powers. It makes his skills believable. Unlike a certain character who became amazing at her ice powers under a few minutes. It's also fascinating watching him go through an existential crisis. Who is Jack? Who did he used to be, and how does his past affect who he is today? Is he real? Is he alive? I really respect DreamWorks for intellectually exploring philosophy in a kids' film, something they also did in Kung Fu Panda 2. Santa is very entertaining. He's full of boundless energy and wonder. Every time he's on screen, he's a riot to watch, and he provides some of the funniest moments in the film. I also love how his Russian accent inspires the designs for his costumes and environment. It gives him a wonderful identity. The Easter Bunny is a grumpy sod who takes himself a bit too seriously. To be honest, he was my least favourite character. He spends most of the film being bitter and whiny. However, it is funny watching him get frustrated at Jack's cheeky antics. It's also very cool that his Australian background influenced the artist to give his character and environment designs an Aboriginal art style. Much like Santa, it gives him an exotic identity. The Sandman never says a word, but the film geniusly uses his sand powers as a form of visual communication. It's his charming silent personality and cuddly design that makes him very endearing. Plus, despite his appearance, he's possibly the most badass fighter out of all the Guardians. The Tooth Fairy is very likeable. She's so giddy and quirky. There's something adorable about her weird obsession with teeth. I was totally won over by her. I have mixed feelings about Pitch Black. I think it's cool how the film inventively plays with the lighting to give him a shadowy presence, and I kind of liked how he used Jack's existential crisis to his advantage. I just didn't like his bland design and forgettable personality. He's just a typical monologuing bad guy who looks like a generic gothic villain. I know it won't take long for me to forget about him. I'm going to give 4 points to the characters. Visually, this movie is amazing. The colourful magic effects, the world art inspired designs, and the wild fight sequences are truly engaging to look at. However, the character animation as a whole isn't very noteworthy to me. Little about the acting blew me away or stunned me. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's bad animation. The comedy is neatly timed, the emotions are very readable, there's high energy behind every action, and each character's personality comes through very clearly. It's just that the character animation isn't anything special. It's very standard and run-of-the-mill compared to other DreamWorks animated films. It's missing a certain edge to kick it up a notch. I'm going to give 3 points to the animation. Chris Pine voices Jack Frost. It gives his character some cheeky charm to make him sound likeable.
You know what I think? I think we just dodged a bullet. I mean, what's this clown know about bringing joy to children anyway?
You ever hear of a snow day? I know it's no hard-boiled egg, but kids like what I do.
But none of them believe in you, do they? You see, you're invisible, mate. It's like you don't even exist.
Bunny, enough.
No, the kangaroo's right.
The what? What did you call me? I'm not a kangaroo, mate.
Oh, and this whole time I thought you were. If you're not a kangaroo, what are you?
I'm a bunny. The Easter Bunny.
Alec Baldwin voices Santa Claus. His booming, Russian-accented voice is delightful to listen to.
Here, this is how you see me, no? Very big, intimidating. But if you get to know me a little, well, go on.
You are downright jolly.
But not just jolly. I am also mysterious. And fearless. And caring. And at my center,
There's a tiny wooden baby.
look closer. What do you see?
You have big eyes.
Yes! Big eyes, very big, because they are full of wonder.
Hugh Jackman is effectively grumpy as the Easter Bunny.
Hang on. You mean to say you summoned me here 3 days before Easter because of your belly? Mate, if I did this to you 3 days before Christmas...
Please, Bunny, Easter is not Christmas.
Isla Fisher voices the Tooth Fairy. She sounds very giddy and weird, which actually fits the character.
Moscow, Sector 9, 22 incisors, 18 Freehold. Heavy rain advisory. Des Moines, we've got a cusp at 23 Maple. Head out. Wait, it's her first tooth. Have you ever seen a more adorable lateral incisor in all of your life? Look how she flossed!
Jude Law voices Pitch Black, and to be honest, I don't think he fits the role. It's not very good casting. He doesn't sound scary enough. He tries to sound intimidating, but he ends up sounding like a dad playing the part of a villain while reading a book to his child at bedtime.
Oh, I thought I heard the clippity-clop of a unicorn. What an adorable dream. And look at her. Precious child. So sweet. So full of hope and wonder. Why, there's only one thing missing. A touch of fear. That never gets old. Feel your fear. Come on. Come on, that's right. Yeah. What a pretty little nightmare.
I'm going to give 4 points to the voice acting. The music for this film is very epic and whimsical, which perfectly suits an action fantasy film like this. But, to be honest, I didn't really notice the music for the most part. It's just there. It exists in the background. It doesn't suck me in. It doesn't create much of an atmosphere. It's like the filmmakers took generic stock action music and threw it onto the soundtrack. You could actually play this music score for someone and they would go, oh, is that the music for the new Marvel film? Is that the music for the new action blockbuster film? it doesn't have much of an identity, it doesn't stand out. On the plus side, I do like how some of the music score is inspired by world culture, considering that 2 of the characters are from different countries. That's pretty cool. I'm going to give 2 points to the music. To conclude, while Rise of the Guardians definitely has likeable, entertaining characters and pretty visuals, it's held back from being something much greater. This is not the film that I hoped for. It's just okay. Rise of the Guardians has gained 15 points, which translates to 3 frosty strawberries. If you enjoyed such films as Avengers Assemble or Hop, then I think you might like it. So, what should I review in the next episode of Jambareeqi Reviews? Well, luckily Santa Claus himself gave me a present for Christmas, and I think that I should review whatever he's given me this year. What could it be? Let's unwrap it and find out! It's time for a trilogy to end. Cheerio, folks.